People often say that destiny is predetermined, but every thought and action in the mundane world, whether intentional or not, can potentially alter one's fate, even inviting relentless misfortune. As the saying goes, everything has cause and effect. Today, I'll share with you a true story about a businesswoman from Yan'an, Shaanxi Province, China. Please watch following Master Chen to explore karma. In early October this year, with autumn's hues fully painted, the Yan'an Loess Plateau seemed shrouded in a layer of gloom, emanating a faint chill. Master Chen, a gifted individual with the extraordinary ability to connect with spiritual realms, see yin and yang, and perceive life and death, once again set foot on this ancient land. She had come by invitation, with her 2-week schedule fully booked. However, on the very night she arrived in Yan'an, an unexpected guest knocked on her door. This guest was a woman surnamed Li, who worked in the energy business and had crossed paths with Master Chen briefly more than a decade ago. Once confident and decisive, she now looked pale and unfocused, as if haunted by an invisible shadow. Master Chen narrowed her eyes, carefully observing Ms. Li's aura, noticing a dark mark clouding her forehead. A shadow loomed over her, clinging closely. This shadow was deep as ink, wrapped in a shroud of darkness, with its head and face obscured, emanating an eerie aura that seemed to come from beyond this world. Master Chen felt a tightness in her chest, thinking to herself, her fate. It's somehow entangled with the realm of the underworld. Upon seeing Master Chen, Ms. Li began speaking softly, recounting a strange incident she experienced earlier this year. It was a cold, dark night, and Ms. Li was driving home alone. The night was heavy, with only her car's headlights illuminating the lonely country road. She was nearing a bend, almost home, and sighed with relief. Suddenly, out of the corner of her eye, she glimpsed a shadow passing near her car. She turned her head to look and saw the shadow dressed in flowing ancient opera robes, the garments billowing as if it were a ghost stepping out from a theatrical stage. Ms. Li's heart tightened, and a cold sweat drenched her back instantly. In her fright, the shadow suddenly swung its wide sleeves, darkly covering the windshield so that everything before her was pitch black. Unable to see the road ahead, Ms. Li instinctively slammed on the brakes, bringing the car to a stop. Holding her breath, she whispered a prayer to Guanyin Bodhisattva, hoping the eerie shadow would vanish soon. After what felt like an eternity, she slowly opened her eyes to find the shadow gone. Trembling, she quickly restarted the car and sped home. This bizarre encounter left Ms. Li sleepless for nights, so she sought help from a feng shui master. After listening to her story and carefully examining the situation, the master slowly remarked, "You once relieved yourself on someone's grave, disturbing the soul of an ancestor. The spirit has come to seek retribution." Upon hearing this, Ms. Li recalled that it was late one night several months ago when she was on her way home after finishing her business. She stopped on the way and took care of herself in a field by the road. It was very dark at that time, and she was so anxious that she didn't even see clearly whether there was a cemetery under her feet. Ms. Li asked the feng shui master to help her resolve the issue. The master picked up a brush and painted an image of a woman relieving herself at a gravesite. He silently recited incantations as he set the painting alight, telling Ms. Li that the matter was now settled. Ms. Li breathed a sigh of relief, thinking she could finally rest easy. However, things were not so simple. From that day onward, her business suffered continuous setbacks, her finances plummeted, her child's new business venture failed, wiping out all their investment, and her family plunged into debt. She herself became exhausted, as if falling into a bottomless pit. Despite seeking help everywhere, she found herself ensnared by an invisible shadow, unable to escape. After listening to Ms. Li's story, Master Chen fell silent, her mind drifting back to their first encounter over a decade ago. At that time, Ms. Li appeared confident and full of vitality. However, through Master Chen's third eye, a shadow had subtly lingered behind her, a spirit of a man with a clear face. The man's steps were unsteady, and he was surrounded by a dense aura of resentment, unwilling to leave. Master Chen immediately saw that this was no ordinary wandering spirit. The heavy resentment hung over him like an eerie black veil, binding his fate tightly to Ms. Li's. This spirit had been Ms. Li's spouse in life, and their unresolved ties had deeply rooted themselves across both realms. Master Chen described the man's appearance, and Ms. Li turned deathly pale, choking out the truth. That spirit was her husband, who had only recently passed away. She explained that, according to an ancient local custom, when someone dies an unnatural death, a heavy stone is placed on his body in the grave to suppress lingering resentment and prevent the spirit from returning to harm family members. However, Master Chen gravely warned Ms. Li, "Your husband's resentment has only grown, fed by new grievances. The stone holding him down confines his spirit in the abyss of the underworld. He cannot reincarnate or find peace, and so can only linger close to you. Though he will not harm you directly, his resentment will erode your fortune and could even affect your relatives." But Ms. Li, fearing old customs, ignored Master Chen's advice and left. She was unaware that, little by little, this resentment had taken root in her fate, quietly entangling her destiny like a creeping poison vine. Now, the flames of karmic retribution had begun to burn, bringing her years of misfortune. Exhausted and fearful, Ms. Li once again sought Master Chen's help, her eyes filled with both dread and unwillingness. Master Chen looked at her, shaking her head slightly, and said, "You did not heed my warning back then. Over these 10 years, 6 members of your husband's family have died under unnatural circumstances, by hanging herself, drinking pesticide, accidentally falling off a cliff, and etc. Is this not proof enough that his resentment has never dissipated?" Ms. Li nodded repeatedly, astonished that everything Master Chen said was true. Master Chen continued, "New and old grudges are all causal, and things are getting more and more complicated. Although this is not your wish, you are the only one who has to bear the layers of evil karma." After hearing this, Ms. Li's hands trembled. Her face was ashen. She regretted it, and she felt like she was falling into the abyss. Master Chen said in a deep voice, "When you just walked in, I saw a shadow with a masked head and face following you closely. This is not the spirit of your husband, but because you have offended someone else's ancestral grave, the matter has not been resolved, and the soul of the old ancestor is still following you." Before the matter of that year was resolved, a new disaster came again, as if an invisible haze net tightly entangled Ms. Li's life. Looking back over the years, her business has been declining, and family members have encountered accidents frequently. Everything seems to be shrouded in an invisible curse and cannot be broken free. Only now did she realize that the root of all this was the resentful spirits and old things that had never been truly resolved. Ms. Li begged Master Chen to help her cut off this entangled bad luck. Master Chen stared for a moment, nodded slowly, and then led her into the Buddhist hall dedicated to the compassionate Guanyin Bodhisattva. The Buddhist hall was filled with smoke and a clear fragrance. Master Chen closed his eyes, clasped his hands together, silently chanted a secret Buddhist mantra, prayed softly, and sent his thoughts to the Bodhisattva Dharma realm, begging Guanyin Bodhisattva to bring down auspiciousness, bless Ms. Li with great compassion, and resolve the grievances that were entangled in her. After praying, she took out a yellow paper talisman and tapped it lightly with her fingertips. The talisman instantly flashed a faint light and slowly floated to the front of the Bodhisattva statue. As if burning with the power of the Bodhisattva, the paper ash slowly dissipated in front of the Buddha statue. Then she led Ms. Li to the place of alms, set up the altar, and stared at the invisible yin and yang realm with a torch-like look. Master Chen took out a stack of paper money from his sleeve, moved his mouth slightly, and chanted an ancient and deep mantra, directing his mind power to the faintly emerging yin spirit. She lit the paper, and the spell floated towards the underworld like a thread. With a soothing meaning, the ashes rose and turned into a response from the dark. Master Chen closed his eyes slightly. His spiritual consciousness wandered between yin and yang, sensing the resentment gradually dissipating, and then he slowly opened his eyes and said softly, "His resentment has dissipated, the way of reincarnation has appeared, and he will not disturb you anymore." Murmuring ancient, solemn chants to channel her energy toward the shadowy spirit lingering nearby, she lit the joss paper, and the recitations drifted like threads into the spiritual realm, carrying a soothing message. The ashes rose, transforming into a subtle response from beyond. Master Chen closed her eyes, her spirit sensing the fading resentment as it gradually dissipated. When she finally opened her eyes, she said softly, "The resentment has dispersed. The path to reincarnation is now open, and it will trouble you no more." However, this was only the first step. In order to completely eliminate the bad debt caused by her husband's improper burial, she needs to perform profound magic to help the 6 members of the clan who died due to injustice. Master Chen pondered for a moment, calculated with her fingers, and found out the location of the resentment of each deceased. She set up the altar, lit various talismans, and slowly recited their own exclusive soul-soothing spells. The light of the talismans was like a ghost, and the magic power pulled the resentment of the deceased. On the altar, the sacrificial fire was blazing, and the breath of the underworld gradually faded. Master Chen used secret gestures to dissolve the dark air that remained on Ms. Li one by one. Afterwards, Master Chen lit a lamp in front of the Bodhisattva statue and prayed for Ms. Li, directing all his thoughts to the power of light, praying that Guanyin Bodhisattva would protect Ms. Li for the rest of her life and resolve the unfinished evil karma. After several days of rituals, Ms. Li's face gradually brightened and relaxed, and the dark clouds pressing on her heart also dissipated with the wind. The nightmare was gone. Ms. Li's life began to return to normal, and her career gradually improved. However, the painful experience of interweaving with the yin and yang worlds left an indelible mark in her heart.